And we are back. So it turns out that the problem I was having with connecting the Betaflight or BetaFPV board to Betaflight was that it looks like someone had already used this board and had messed up flashing the firmware to it. If you look really closely, you can see there's the boot pads. Boot pads right here. And I had not soldered to them, and there was solder, like you could tell someone had soldered to them. So I'd gone to the BetaFPV website and looked at all the errors and stuff, and I'd installed the drivers, everything was working. I was plugging in other flight controllers, and that was all working no problem. And so I was like, well, you know what? Let me just try to reflash the board, because they give the target. It's the SP Racing F3 Evo target. And so I was like, okay, let's try that. I soldered a bridge between those two pins right there, plugged it in into DFU mode. It showed up on Betaflight, reflashed it, and it's working perfectly fine. So that is a little bit of a quality control issue, I guess, or a little bit of a frustrating thing. But thankfully, I don't have to like send it back, or I don't have to have them ship me another one, because like I said, I'm trying to get out this weekend and fly. So the solution to all the weird driverness, the serial port failing, was just that I think someone had flashed the wrong target to this, and then it wasn't working. They sent it back, and then BetaFPV sent it to me. I don't know what happened. That's a scenario. I don't know exactly what happened. But soldering the boot pads and then reflashing with the new target works great. All right, so now we're going to pick back up from where we left off. I'll go ahead and I'm going to set this down. And I'm going to plug it in. Makes beautiful USB noises. Let's move this over just a tad. There we go. And then I'll connect. And then I'll connect. Perfect. Okay. And I've got it level on the bench, so I'm just going to go ahead and re-zero the accelerometer, just because I'm kind of not trusting anything from this board anymore. All right, so that's zeroed. Now we'll go into ports. I think usually UART. Let's just try it. Let's turn on my transmitter. All right, so now we've got transmitter turned on, and let's just turn on serial port for RX for 1. We'll see if that's the correct one. So then we click save. It reboots, we come back into it. Let's see here. To answer some of the questions, no, I didn't get it used. I got it brand new from Amazon, and it shipped to me Prime. Super weird. It's a BetaFPV FR Sky board. I mean, they get great reviews. They're really good, and I imagine this is going to be great once I get it working. It's just, I think someone messed up flashing the firmware. All right, so now let's go to receiver to see if we're getting... Nope, so that's the wrong port. There's probably a document somewhere that says which UART to use, but I don't know where that is. I didn't look that up. I'm just trying to get this working. So we're just gonna, there's 3 options. It's gonna be one of them. Nope. Oh shoot, I'm being silly. In my rush, I'm forgetting things. Okay, so we're gonna start all over again. UART 1, save reboot. But that's not all that you have to do to check. You have to then go into the ports configuration and then set up the SBUS. So we need serial based and then SBUS. Once that's set, we can save it, and then we can go through the different UARTs to see which one is connected to the internal receiver. Whoopsie daisy. All right, well, lesson learned again. All right, receiver. Nope, it's not that one. So let's go back to config, make sure it's still an SBUS. Yes, okay, so go to ports, we'll try UART 2. All right, it reconnected, go to receiver. Yes, now we are getting, with the movement of my sticks, and then you can see it's not perfect. See how the numbers are changing just a little bit? That means that you're connected. So, but my throttle is obviously not supposed to be rolling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to channel map, and then I'll switch that to the Spectrum Grapner DR, and that's TAER, that's for FR Sky stuff. And then I'll also say RSSI channel is auxiliary 9, because that's this channel. So you've got channels roll, pitch, yaw, throttle, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then auxiliary 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 of these plus 5 of these is 9, channel 9 for your RSSI. Save. All right, bam. Then you see over here, that 3D model stopped freaking out, and then I can, whoa, these rates are a little bit crazy, but I can, you know, all the orientation and all the stuff, or so far as stick inputs, makes sense with what's happening here. And then, yep, okay, that all looks relatively good. So now we will go back to, we'll go ahead and save this. I think I clicked that already, but you can never click save too many times. Then we're gonna go back to configuration. All right, we do have brushed motors. You can see that here. Don't spin the motors when armed. Yeah, that's fine. This all looks good. 8 and 2. We don't have a barometer, so we'll uncheck that. If I can get 4, that'd be great. Let's try to go for 4. What we're being careful though is this right here, the CPU load. We want to make sure that stays like under like 25-30%. So let's just continue to scroll down. Telemetry, output, transponder. We don't have a transponder, an infrared little deal soldered in. We don't need that. Beeper configuration, I don't have a beeper, so all that's on, whatever, that's fine. So I'll save this and reboot, and we'll see what the CPU load is. If it stays under like 25-30, then we can do the 8 and 4 without any issues. Awesome, so CPU load is like 19%, so we can easily do 8 on the gyro and 4 on the PID loop, and that should not be a problem. Fantastic. Okie doke, so let's scroll down to power and battery. Onboard, analog digital converter, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna mess with any of this stuff for now. PID tuning, oh my gosh, everyone's freaking out. Yeah, I'm not gonna change anything. I'm honestly going to leave everything stock. Betaflight, this is 3.2.1, and I think it's, I mean, for everything that I've done, you tweak it just a little bit if you really want to, but for the most part, it flies fine on its own. Receiver, okay, now this is where we're gonna get into it. So I couldn't arm it earlier, and that's because there was no, well, probably because it had the wrong firmware and it was all like messed up, but also because there's no arm sequence. So I'll add one, and I set up switch 1 as my arming switch. So you can see here if I hit this switch on the corner, this yellow tick mark moves and it now arms. Disarmed, armed, disarmed. I like to have this switch set up that way so if it's armed and I'm flying, I don't have to remember, do I push or do I pull or what do I do? I hit the switch either way that's fastest and it disarms. So that's what makes most sense to me. Of course, we're going to do, I guess, angle mode we can switch that. So we'll start off in angle mode, and then we'll throw in some air mode. I mean, I don't even really think whoops need air mode. They're so light. This is all kind of new. We're gonna play with it and see. So we'll do air mode and we'll just throw it all on. We're just gonna go crazy. We'll do air mode and anti-gravity whenever my mode switch is all the way down. So see the yellow tick mark is now over here. So I'll just have like acro without any air mode or anti-gravity in the middle position. Angle mode, full stability. So yeah, full stability. Acro mode, no fancy anti-gravity or air mode. And then down is acro with anti-gravity and air mode layered on top. And so we've got the 3 options with that. I'll probably be flying mostly in angle mode for the beginning, but we'll give it a shot. All right, so then of course we have to save before we click out of that. And that's pretty much it. We should be able to fly this thing now. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, okay, so let's disconnect. I need to, we can do this. I need to put the canopy on, and then we'll plug a battery in, and then we'll power it on, and I will probably idle the motors for just a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly FPV, but then I've also got a display, a little LCD, and I'll set that up so y'all can actually watch what I'm watching. That'll be hopefully interesting. We'll see. Alright. So that looks pretty good. Now we just have to pull the USB out without ripping everything off. Good luck. Oh, fantastic. Also, again, I love this right-angled USB. I can plug it in and just set this down and calibrate the accelerometer, and everything works really well without having a cable push it up like that. Okay, so let's give it the first go as far as seeing if it arms and motors spin up. All right, that's a good sign. So then we'll say, okay, we want to arm it. So I have a little bit of throttle. So that's no throttle because I left motor stop on or off, and then I'll turn throttle up just a little bit till a couple start spinning, and then I'll grab the whoop and I'll move it around to make sure all of them spin. It's acting like it wants to be in like it has air mode on. That's weird. So that's acro. And that is with air mode. That is strange. I don't know. I can definitely tell these little motors are crazy fast. Alright, so let's go ahead and disarm. We're going to unplug the battery. We'll slide the battery in the way it's supposed to be. And then we'll plug this in. And then I might just have to like hold on to it or something. Oh, it's gotta, there we go. If you try and arm it too soon after you plug it in, and the LEDs are still blinking, then it won't arm and it like acts like it's not connected. So just disarm it, wait for the LEDs to stop blinking, and then arm it again, and it should be fine. I'm trying to figure out. So that's throttle all the way down. That's weird. That's acting a little bit different than what I was expecting. So how am I supposed to... I guess I could plug in USB and just set minimum throttle or drive all the motors equally. And that way I could break in the motors. I might have to do that because this little game is not spinning all the motors equally. That's weird. I'm like no throttle and it still spins. All right, let's do that. Let's go ahead and plug in USB, and I'll get the motors just spinning ever so slightly. That way I can let it sit for a couple seconds or minutes and get them worn in. And then we can actually, here's my LCD, and I'll set this up so that y'all can see what I'm seeing when I fly FPV. So just hold on for a few seconds and this will actually get a lot more interesting. But first I've got to do some super boring motor, not calibration, some motor break-in. So the one thing I am kind of like not liking about this whole setup right now is that every time I plug in USB, it pops out of this rear grommet. That might be because I used the wrong hardware. I don't know. Where are my tweezers? There we go. Come on, dude. All right. So yeah, if you can just bear with me for a few more minutes, we'll actually get in the air and you can watch the flight. There we go. All right, I'm gonna turn my controller off. I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna leave this here. We'll pan this back up a little bit so you can see kind of what I'm doing with Betaflight. I'm gonna connect. I'm gonna go straight to the motors. Oops, motors. And then I'm gonna take my battery. I'm gonna plug my whoop in like so. Set it back down. And then can I get both in the screen? Let's see. Yeah, something like that, right? Can you see that? And then I'm gonna say, yes, I understand, blah, blah, blah. Y'all have all probably done this. I'm gonna take master and I'm gonna bring it up to probably like 1100 maybe. I'll do 1050 because these motors are spinning pretty fast already. So yeah, you can see that the motors are now all spinning equally. It's not being biased by the accelerometer, and I can just leave this here and let's see what the comments are. Someone is writing me in a different language that's not English. Anti-gravity removal burn battery like no other. Interesting. Okay, I'm getting some good advice. So I'm just going to kind of read some of this stuff out. Someone mentioned that turning on anti-gravity in air mode will burn the battery like no other. We will see. I don't know. Maybe. That's interesting. Someone's asked if I've broken the motors. I'm working on doing that right now. Someone built slot dyno 1, Seb was saying to Alec, I built it on his own, but he has gym fan motors, ESC. So he's just talking about like some other build that he's doing. If I test motors in Betaflight and I barely move the throttle, they spin up to max speed. Okay. Slot dyno 1 is saying if you test the motors in Betaflight and he barely touches them. Okay, are you talking about brushed motors or brushless motors? Yeah, I think Alec is on to the right trail to figuring it out because I think that sounds like a brushless setup issue, not a whoop setup. Let's start playing with this. While that's doing that thing, let's pop this open. I should be on channel Race 8. That's my normal channel that I stay on. Let's see if this camera is set up for that or not. I'm gonna have to bump it over some. Oh, all right, sweet. So, obviously we're gonna have to fix the camera a little bit. Ooh. This is obviously not going to be ideal, but hopefully y'all can see. Alright, so I think I need to prop up the screen a tad. Let's do that with some foam blocks. Oh, this is so janky. It's gonna be great. Nope, it still needs something. Let's try. Let's try a second tripod. We'll mount this. Onto a second tripod. Oh yeah, this is going to work. All right, so then I say put this guy. Oh, don't fall over. Oh man, we are in business. All right, so now y'all can see my FPV feed when I fly. Oh, this is gonna be great. Oh man, all right. So, okay, usually I'll like run an entire battery through to break in the motors. I'm curious, y'all seem to have a lot more experience with brushed stuff. What, here, I guess I could move that here. I can hold this and talk to y'all. How about that? What experience have y'all had with breaking in brushed motors? Like, what do y'all think is sufficient? Do you think like just like a minute or so of running, or how long should I let these motors spool up before I take my first flight? I kind of have my own opinion. I'm curious what y'all have had success with. Let's take a look at these comments. Let's see here. Y'all are all talking about BL Hilly. Guys, that's not relevant. Focus on brushed motors, tiny whoops. Come on. I think So right now I'm at 3.8 volts on this battery. I think I'll go down to like 3.6, and we'll call that good, however long that takes. Hopefully not too much longer. So yeah, I guess if y'all have any questions, now is a great time because I don't really have anything to do besides talk to y'all. What else y'all got? What else do y'all want to know? And I'm serious about y'all telling me what you think is best for breaking in the motors. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever really messed with 6mm motors on a build. So any advice y'all can give me, I would appreciate it. 10% 2 minutes, 25% 3 minutes, 75% for about 3 minutes. Dang, that is a crazy process, man. That's like super specific. Let's see here. Well, I don't know how long I've been going. Have you been keeping track of time? I have not. Let's see here. Someone says the motors are good, just rip. I'm kind of honestly thinking that might be a really good idea. Just for the sake of the video, right? For streaming and not having y'all just like get bored, right? Surely, that's what we want. Okay, let's do this. Let's go ahead, because I'm trying to get this done so I can go do some other stuff. Let's unplug this battery. We'll put a new battery in, and then I'll fly around, and I just won't like go crazy. I'm gonna just kind of slowly, 10 minutes, dang. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. So we're gonna sacrifice these motors for the sake of my viewers not being bored. I am that nice. All right, so I'm gonna grab another battery. And my goggles. Let's make sure everything is on the right channel. Bam. That's kind of cool because I can see the same thing, or I see the same thing y'all see. So this is kind of a neat little setup. I like it. All right. So we're about to do a live FPV. You sounded like still when you said, oh man, don't say that. So we're about to take this little tiny whoop guy for a maiden voyage around my house. Y'all are watching a little LCD display to see the action that I'm seeing. And yeah, let's do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill the motors in Betaflight. And then I'll disconnect. And then I'll unplug the battery. And then I'm gonna unplug the USB. I'm gonna feel to make sure the motors aren't hot, so I'm gonna kind of grab those. They shouldn't be hot. They are not even warm, which is good. Make sure all the wires are good, and then we're gonna pop a new battery in. Doop, doop, doop on this side. And then plug this guy in. Sweet. All right. Let's go for a little fly, shall we? Let's do it. I don't have my neck strap. Hold on. Hold on. Can't do this without my neck strap. Hawk and duck. Yep. Let's do it.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
Ooh, that's not good. I said I wasn't going to go fast. I have to remember that I'm just going to like slowly have fun. This feels really stable. Like I said, I didn't touch the PIDs at all. and it seems to be pretty good. I really want to go fast, but I don't want to hurt these motors too badly. So we're just going to take it easy. Just going to take it easy. There's Roomba. That guy's always messing up my videos. Roomba! Ooh, let's try a... I don't know if I can do it. Is there enough room to go between the iPad and the LCD? Oh yeah, plenty of room. So much room! Let's take a stroll down the bench. So yeah, I'm digging this little tiny whoop. This flies way better than the EO10s that I had made videos on earlier. I mean, like I said, if you just don't want to, if you want to spend the least amount of money possible, just get an EO10, don't spend much money, get in the air, enjoy having the FPV experience, but definitely know that there are much better rigs and there's much better setups than the EO10. This is a really good example of how well a little brushed whoop can fly. This thing is pretty crazy how smooth it is. Whoop! Close call. Oh, y'all want to see the stockpile of the Mighty Whoop, the little brushless whoop frames? Here is just a sample of some of the frames that I've gone through getting the design somewhat perfected. It's like a graveyard of 3D printed Mighty Whoop frames. So yeah, okay, I guess that's probably good enough for now. I could keep flying around, but I don't want to bore y'all too much, and I also want to make sure that these motors don't get damaged by not breaking them in. I'll probably land it and then use the rest of this battery just idling the motors and letting them get a good, nice break-in. But stock setup, just basically plug and play with the BetaFPV on the SP Racing F3 Evo Target. This thing rocks. I am doing Betaflight 3.2.1. Oh, that's it. That's kind of where it just fell out of the sky. Cool. Right on. Well, I hope y'all liked that. That's definitely success for me. I'm pumped that this whole deal worked out, and yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry for the little hiccup in the middle with both the video transmitter or the video camera that I was using not working once I split it in half, and then also the driver stuff. But y'all got to see some of the random things that go along with the hobby and try to figure out how to troubleshoot stuff. So let's go through comments one last time, and then I'm going to wrap this up. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, I need to unplug the battery. Oh man, I probably just like murdered that battery. The voltage is probably super low. Whoops. All right, let's do one of these real quick, and then let's look at the comments. Last comment, Alex said he's not trying to break them in, won't cause any damage, will just give you a tiny bit more power and they'll last longer. Okay, well hey, that's good to know. He's saying that if you don't break them in, it doesn't necessarily ruin them, which is what I kind of thought. He said that it just allows the motor to give you more power if you break them in properly. So some good advice from Alec, and yeah guys, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll definitely be doing more videos. We shall, oh sweet. Oh, I haven't got one of those before. Nice, man. Hey, thanks, Alec. I'll definitely be updating y'all. Alec just gave me $5 towards winning multi-GP, which is, you know, it's totally going to happen. But yeah, no. Again, I just appreciate y'all coming. Thanks for your patience as I fight through all these weird little things. And hope y'all have a great weekend. I'll be posting more videos soon. See y'all.